Bob Costas, Hall of Fame broadcaster, was on the call 25 years ago tonight. We thought Michael Jordan's final shot, and Bob has said that that was not exactly a push-off by Michael Jordan. That's like a maitre d' showing you to your table. Bob, I've never been shown to my table by a maitre d' where I nearly fell over. So I'm gonna disagree with that description.
Yeah, but Dan, he wasn't falling because of the very light push. He was already stumbling because Michael had faked him out of his sneakers. That's kind of what happened. If that happens in the second quarter of a regular season game, nobody even disputes. No one turns and says, hey, wait, that was a push-off. Nothing. It's because of where it happened, who it happened to, one of the most iconic moments in the history of sports. Forget about the NBA. If Utah has a gripe, and they do in that game, there was no replay then. In the first half, Howard Isley hit a three that was waved off as a shot clock violation, and we had it on NBC. It's out of his hands before the clock hits 0. So that's 3 points taken away from Utah. Later in the game, Ron Harper hits a 2 that did not beat the shot clock, and it was allowed. Now, that's a 5 points. That's a 5-point swing. Of course, when people say, it's like, oh, well, if that guy wasn't thrown out trying to steal second base and the next guy homers, it would have been a 2-run homer. That's not necessarily logical because if the circumstances are different, maybe what happens subsequently plays out differently. But in a game that was that close, you take 5 points away from Utah, they have a case that maybe they could have played a Game 7 in Utah a few nights later.
And I also go back to the play that's forgotten, and it's equally as impressive as Jordan's steal on Karl Malone that led to the game-winning shot.
Yeah, he's being guarded by Rodman, and according to Michael's subsequent testimony, he came around from the side, and Malone never saw him. Michael left his guy along the baseline, and Malone is preoccupied with Rodman, and Michael comes from the other side and slaps it away.
Yeah, and then that led to, 5 seconds to go where he hits the jumper. As you guys were game planning, after he makes the steal, and then there's a timeout, I believe, and then what is being discussed by you guys in the anticipation? Because we've seen Steve Kerr hit a game-winning shot, John Paxson hit a game-winning shot. Is everybody in unison that this is going to be Michael Jordan taking the shot?
Yeah, pretty much, because when he stole the ball, he then has it, and no one else touched it. And when you think about it, what's surprising about that? Pippen's hobbling around with a bad back. He's Michael Jordan. He's going to take that shot. He didn't pass it to anybody. He had it the whole time. He took it out of the backcourt into the front court, made the shot over Russell. But when he makes the shot, there's 5.2 seconds left. So even though the Bulls are up by 1, whatever you say, the possibility that this is a championship-winning shot, the possibility that it's the last shot Michael Jordan will ever take in his NBA career, which briefly turned out to be true until he came back with the Wizards for an encore, that's a possibility, but it's certainly not a certainty because there's still 5 seconds left, and Utah could score. And Stockton got a decent look. Harper was guarding him, as I remember, had a hand in his face. He got a decent look, and as I remember, it hit the back iron, but it was kind of on target. So if that goes in, they play a Game 7 on Utah's home floor.
Take us back, and I apologize. I thought for some reason when Jordan made the steal that they would have called a timeout then. But,
no timeout.
Yeah, that's interesting strategy, but strategy always helps when you have Michael Jordan.